It was like literally, exactly, precisely, thank you Dusty for taking a photo, I appreciate it. It was exactly a year ago tonight that we had the world premiere of Hannah Takes the Stairs at the Paramount Theater last year. And it was an amazing screening, an amazing event. And it was just a fascinating moment for me personally, both professionally and personally actually. Because this filmmaker, the filmmaker who directed Hannah Takes the Stairs and co-directed tonight's feature is somebody who has been a real mainstay of South by Southwest. Most of you in this room don't need me to remind you of that. Some people call us, last year they called us South by South Swanberg. You know what? To hell with it, I'm fine with that. Joe and Greta have created something really amazing with this film. It's actually unlike any other film they've ever been a part of before tonight. You're in for something totally different, and I think you're going to be as touched and blown away as I was. So, cut to the chase. Please, please, please give a warm South by Southwest welcome to two of our favorite South by Southwest alumni, Mr. Joe Swanberg and Ms. Greta Gerwig.
Wow. Yeah, Greta and I have been working on this movie for a long time now, or what seems like a really long time, and it feels really weird that nobody's seen it yet, because I think for both of us it's just like, feels like something's been part of our lives for forever, and then also I have no recollection of doing it. So, but I mean, I definitely think we made it. I think that there will be a movie that shows tonight, but you know, we just went all the way with this one, I think, and shot, and then took some time off and edited and shot some more, and just kept working on it until it felt like the movie that we wanted to make. And I don't think we knew what movie we wanted to make until we just finally saw it. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say first, other than you know, it's just been a pleasure to work with Greta, like closer than I've ever collaborated with anybody before, and I'm really, really proud of what we made. So, do you want to say anything?
Thank you guys for coming, and it's really, as Joe said, it's very surreal to have people watch it, because I think it feels like part of us, and or it feels like part of me in a really extreme way, and I thank you for being generous with your time to come share what we did with us.
Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you in a little while. I mean, you're looking at the entire production of the second half of this movie, the 1 year later part. It was just the three of us, and Ben shot it, and we just did our own sound by planting microphones in certain parts of the room. So it was just the three of us that made that. And then the first half, we were fortunate enough to have Matthias Gronsky shoot that half of the film. And then Dia Sokol was our producer extraordinaire / crew. We can thank Dia for really kicking this movie into gear, because we had just finished making Hannah Takes the Stairs, and like a week after I had a cut of that, Dia emailed me and she's like, "When are we going to make a movie?" And I was like, "Well, why don't we make one in like 2 months?" So that's how this really got started. And then Anish, is Anish here? Hey, Anish. All right, yeah. The question is how scripted the film was. Well, not scripted at all. Like, similar to the way that we worked together on Hannah Takes the Stairs, there was a lot of talking that went on beforehand, but nothing written on paper. Emails back and forth between Greta and I with ideas and things like that, but yeah.
I will say we had complete backstories and very detailed work done on that. So I guess it's sort of like we'll reference something that makes a lot of sense to us but doesn't have a place in like the narrative of the movie, but we know what's happened in between there. So it was, I guess, just a lot of fleshing out the the details of their lives?
The first half of the film, we didn't do very many takes. I don't feel like we shot a lot. We shot a lot more stuff on the first half. I mean, let me say a little bit about it, just because I keep referring to like half one and half two. We shot this movie with an actual year-long break in between the 1 year later. I mean, I think you could see us physically look a lot different and sort of change over the course of that year. But that wasn't intentional. That wasn't like some great idea that Greta and I had. I mean, we shot the movie in December of 2006, and we thought we made the movie. And then, you know, sort of like after a lot of editing and looking at it and being realistic with ourselves, we realized that we didn't actually make the movie. And that's when I mean, it was Greta who first said it and was sort of brave enough to say it out loud. I think something that both of us have been thinking, but that we needed to shoot more. So it was like the last thing in the world I wanted to do was shoot more. But so then we went back and shot a lot more and shot a complete second half to the movie in December of 2007, like 3 months ago. So, and then that half was really succinct, and we did a lot of takes. We would just do it and do it and do it until we got it right. So pretty much every take you see in the second half is the final take of however many we did, because it was sort of like I felt like workshopping it or something. Like the first take was, yeah, no, we're not married in real life. I'm married to someone else. Yeah, it was, I mean, it came out of like really sort of like being really, for me, like really just super impressed by Greta from making Hannah Takes the Stairs, and just before that movie was even finished, you know, talking to her about working together on a next project. And, you know, I mean, I think it will be one of the real sort of pleasures of my career to have had the chance to work with her on these 2 movies. And, you know, it was great. I mean, it was great. You know, like, and I think a lot of that for me came out of shooting Hannah and then feeling like wanting to throw myself into the action and see how that would work to get even closer to that. And you know, I like acting. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I'm sort of always shifting between behind the camera and in front of the camera. And this time I decided to just give the camera to someone else for the whole movie and see how it would be to just be a director and an actor the whole time. Like, Greta was supposed to fly home from making Hannah Takes the Stairs, and like, we fucked up on her flight and realized that like the ticket that was bought for her like left 2 days ago. Like we really, like, I don't know what we were looking at, but it was like way off. So I dropped her off at the airport, and we had this goodbye that was like, goodbye, like, I don't know when I'll see you again. And then I started driving home, and I got a phone call from her like 20 minutes later, like, oh, you gotta come back and get me. So then we just had like sat down in a coffee shop and started talking about this movie.
There's all this footage of like right before they started shooting, and I'm looking at the camera and I'm saying, are we going? Are we going? I need to know if we're going, because I can't fucking do this if it's not real. Or like, I was just crazy. I was crazy, and Joe was crazy, and then we were having meltdowns, and then Dia and Anish were like desperately trying to get us back on track. And I think that all worked its way in. Yeah, so like a lot of that, I guess the process was like, keep all that shit on the surface. And yeah, but then the second half was like much more, I guess, distanced, but it worked for the story. Like, we weren't, because, you know, it's more clinical when you've not been with somebody for a year and then you see them again. You don't, it's not infighting anymore. You're having moments with yourself, but you're not having moments with them. That's so I guess where we were as people mirrored where we were in the movie.